I was never superstitious until the day my reflection started telling me things I couldn't possibly know, things I wish I hadn't learned. Section 1. The Thrift Store Find. It started on a rainy Saturday in April. I had no plans besides cleaning my apartment and maybe finally replacing the cracked picture frame above my couch. I popped into this dingy little thrift store on the corner of Ash and 7th, a place I'd passed 1,000 times but never entered. The place smelled like mothballs and old wood. Shelves crammed with porcelain figurines, stacks of VHS tapes, furniture whose best years were decades gone. I was halfway down the last aisle when I saw it. A tall, ornate mirror leaning against the wall, maybe 6 feet high, framed in dark wood carved with twisting vines and strange symbols. It was dusty, but the surface was flawless, not a scratch. And something about it felt heavy, not in weight, but in presence. The price tag read $20, a steal. I convinced myself it would be the perfect statement piece for the apartment. The woman at the counter glanced at it, then at me. "No returns on mirrors," she said flatly. I laughed, assuming it was a store policy thing. She didn't laugh back. Section 2. Settling in. Back home, I wiped it down and leaned it against the wall opposite my bed. As soon as I stepped back, the room looked bigger, brighter. But that night, when I got up to get water, I noticed the air in my bedroom felt cooler. Almost like the AC had kicked on just in that one spot. When I passed the mirror in the dark, my reflection seemed off. A fraction slower than me, like it had to catch up. I chalked it up to tired eyes. Section 3. The First Secret. The first real incident happened a week later. I was getting ready for work when I glanced at my reflection and froze. The me in the glass wasn't brushing their hair anymore. They were just staring at me. Then the lips moved, soundless at first, but faint words began to bleed into the air, like someone whispering through static. "Check your phone. Now." My stomach dropped. I grabbed my phone from the nightstand. A text had come in seconds earlier from my upstairs neighbor, warning me there was a gas leak in the hallway. I left immediately. The fire department came minutes later. My apartment could have gone up if I'd stayed. I kept telling myself it was coincidence, that I'd heard something from the hall and imagined the rest. But deep down, no. Section 4. The Gift That Got Darker. Over the next month, the reflection messages became more frequent. Never long speeches, just short, ice-cold instructions. Don't answer the door. A man with no ID later claimed to be from the power company. Not that street. Minutes later, the road 2 blocks over was blocked off by police tape. It was always trying to help me, or so I thought. One night it said, "He's lying to you." That was during a phone call with my best friend Ben. I brushed it off, but weeks later, I learned he'd stolen hundreds from a shared account we'd once had. The mirror seemed to know things that hadn't happened yet, or at least things I didn't want to believe. Section 5. The First Omission. Then came the first time it didn't warn me. I was lying in bed during a thunderstorm when I noticed movement in the reflection, a shadow crossing my living room. I spun toward the door. Nothing. When I looked back, my reflection was still staring at the door, even though my real head had already turned away. And just before it matched my movement, it mouthed, "Don't look behind you." A sharp crack of thunder masked my footsteps as I turned anyway. Standing in my bedroom doorway was a man, soaked from the rain, face pale and hollow-eyed. I never saw him move, but the next thing I knew, I was waking up on the floor. My front door was wide open. My wallet and laptop were gone. The mirror had seen him first, and said nothing. Section 6. Escalation. From then on, the mirror stopped feeling like a guardian. Some nights my reflection would study me, as if weighing something. Once, half asleep, I saw it smile when I wasn't. Another time, I caught the faintest trace of someone else in the background. A tall, shadowed figure standing where my closet should be. When I turned, there was nothing. I started draping a blanket over it at night. But without fail, every morning, the blanket was folded neatly at the foot of my bed, the glass bare again. Section 7. The Dark Secret. It wasn't until last week that it showed me the worst thing yet. I was brushing my teeth when the mirror fogged slightly, but not from steam. Words formed in the condensation, written from inside the glass. Look under the floorboards. For hours I tried to resist. I didn't want to play its game, but by nightfall, curiosity won. I pried up a loose board beneath the bed. There, wrapped in rotting cloth, were photographs. Dozens. All of me. Some were clearly taken from outside my building, others from inside my own rooms. Sleeping, cooking, at my desk. One was from just 2 nights earlier as I slept. Blanket pulled over my head. Section 8. The twist. I wanted to burn them, but the mirror showed me something else. In the glass, the angle shifted, no longer reflecting me, but my bedroom, as if from a corner high on the wall. In that reflection, crouched at the foot of my bed, was someone I couldn't fully see, whispering things I couldn't quite hear. When I turned in real life, again, nothing. But before my reflection matched me, it leaned close to the glass and mouthed, with a smile too wide for my face, "We know more than you think." I still have the mirror. Don't ask me why. Maybe I'm too afraid of what happens if I try to get rid of it. Or maybe I just want to know everything it's going to show me next.